And all I ask of you today is to just take care of yourselves. Don't do anything that doesn't feel right. Don't do anything that hurts. But you know, try put effort into it. So we're going to start off seated, and as I always say, when we're in a seated position, we're trying to get a nice neutral back. So we're not overemphasizing the arch in the back. We're just trying to get it neutral. And if that's a challenge for you, sitting on a book or a block does help a lot. So just with the legs crossed, just resting the hands on the legs, close the eyes, and just bring focus to the breath. Breathing is very important. It's one of the aspects of yoga. In particular, when we do the flow, we want to breathe with the breath. And there's the technique called Ujjayi breathing. We're breathing in and out through the nose. As we breathe in, we're trying to pull as much air in as we can. We're filling the lungs, we're expanding the ribs. We're exhaling through the nose. We're trying to make that exhale just as long as the inhale. So we're breathing in through the nose. And we're breathing out through the nose. Another thing in Ujjayi breathing, you can hear your breath. Breath is audible. You're restricting the flow of breath, the flow of air slightly through the throat. It's as if as you inhale through the nose, mouth closed, you're trying to say an R sound. You're exhaling, trying to make a sa sound. Some people call this ocean breath. So it's almost like you're trying to, it's making the sound of the ocean. So what we're going to do next, we're going to breathe in, but we're going to add a pause for a second or two to the top of the inhale. So everyone breathe in as much as you can. And then pause, just a short pause. And then we exhale. We pause again. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. So when we're adding movements, we're adding that movement with the breath. We inhale as the arms come up. We pause. We exhale as the arms come down. And pause slightly. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. So we also use the breath to go deeper into pose. I think we did this last week. We're going to place one hand on the mat. So you're pushing the mat away. You're trying to get those hips in the other direction. You inhale the other arm up. You're looking up, and you exhale as you go into that stretch. And we go deeper with the breath. We're inhaling, trying to get length. Exhale as we go a little deeper. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We switch sides. We inhale, we come out. We exhale over to the other side. Reaching up as you inhale. Exhale deeper into that stretch on the exhale. Inhale, coming back up. So we're going to stretch out the arms a little bit. We're going to interlace the fingers. We're pushing the arms towards my direction. We're pulling the shoulders back. We're trying to get a little bit taller. And then we bring the arms up. Eventually, we're trying to get the arms either side of the ears. So if you're not there, no worries. Just keep the shoulders nice and safe. It's a good stretch with the arms. We keep the fingers interlaced. We bring the arms down, we turn the hands up towards the ceiling. Thumb is facing forward, we're relaxing the arms and the shoulders. So try not to sort of stress the shoulders or the elbows up. It's just the hands, fingers we're stretching out here. And then we bring the thumb into the palm. We clasp the thumb, we rest the little finger side down of the arms on the legs. So the arms are pretty straight. And then we're just turning the knuckles towards the ground. So we're feeling a stretch down on the thumb side of the wrists. We bring the back of the hands together. I have very tight wrists, so I tend to do quite a lot of wrist work, hand work. And it helps when you start to do the hand balances. It's not that we're necessarily going to do hand balances today. I'm going to take it fairly easy. Good cross section of people here, so I can't do silly little hand balance poses. But if you're interested, there's a couple of poses I like. One is crow, one is peacock, another one is flying pigeon. Google those maybe if you're interested into what they're like. Maybe 1 week I will demo some of those. So next we're going to come onto our hands and knees. We're going to do what's called cat-cow. So in cat-cow, you want to get the hips over the knees and the shoulders over the wrists, just like this. So the back is neutral. And then we're going to move with the breath. We inhale as the belly goes down, head up, and we exhale as we round the back and tuck the chin. Inhaling into cow, belly down, head up. Exhaling into cat. Inhaling into cow. Exhaling into cat. And just do that a few more times. Just go at your pace. So we're trying to synchronize the movement with the breath. So just keep going. So we're trying to synchronize the movement with the breath. And I describe it as a wave. And that wave is starting from the base of the spine, working its way through into the neck. And each time you're trying to go a little deeper. Great way to warm the spine up. We're trying to get a little bit of space between the vertebrae. We're trying to lubricate those joints. Come into neutral. And just bring one leg up. It doesn't really matter which leg. Not too high, so you don't want that leg high up. You want to try and keep the hips equidistant to the ground. The back is neutral, chin tucked, you're looking at the mat. This is a good way to stabilize the back. And if you want a little bit more challenge, you can add the opposite arm. You're reaching with that arm, you're reaching with that leg. You're breathing. And then we switch. Just start off with the leg first. Then we can just focus on the shoulders a little bit. We can get the shoulders up towards the ceiling. We can gauge the core. We can get those hips even. And then once you're happy with that, we bring the opposite arm up. You're reaching with that arm, you're reaching with the leg. And then we bring the hand down and we come into child's pose. Child's pose, toes are touching, knees are apart, and we're extended child's pose. We're just extending the arms forward. We're bringing the head down towards the mat. So just hang out in child's pose. You always want to make sure the head is supported in child's pose, so you can bring the head onto the hands if you need to, or you can slide a book or a block underneath the mat if you want. Child's pose. What we're going to do, we're going to stay in extended child's pose, but we're going to walk the hands over to one side of the mat. So you're getting a little bit more of a back stretch. So the hands are probably coming off the mat. The head is still down towards the ground. You're breathing. And then we walk over to the other side. And then we bring the hands back to center. We come back, so we're sitting on the heels, and we're going to bring the hands behind us. So the fingers are pointing towards the front of my mat. The fingers are in line with the toes. I'm starting to bend the elbows slightly, tucking the chin. Next, I'll open the chest. Head goes back carefully. Remember, never head back if you've got any neck issues. So I'm really trying to open the chest here, and if you want a little bit more opening, you bring the hips up and you breathe. And then we bring the sit bones down and we come back into child's pose. You come back into child's pose. I'm going to just readjust something here. Child's pose, extended child's pose. Lift the head up, look towards the front of the mat. Slide the hands forward. So the hips are directly over the knees again. Arms are extended. You're trying to get a straight line from the hands through shoulders to the hips. Puppy dog. Arms are working a lot. So we're not just relaxing the arms, we're pulling those armpits towards the ground, just like you would in downward facing dog. And we'll do downward facing dog next. So we bring the hands back up underneath the shoulders. So a good distance between the hands and the knees is, if the wrists are directly underneath the shoulders, I'll walk the hands forward maybe a couple of inches, tuck the toes, and you bring those hips up and back. So in down facing dog, we're trying to get that upside down V shape. Just like puppy dog, you pulling the armpits down, working those arms. Arms are very active. You look, the gaze, almost towards the belly button, definitely towards the legs. You're breathing. Extended down dog. I bring the feet a little bit closer to each other. We bring one leg up towards the ceiling. Extended downward facing dog. And we switch legs. We bring the other leg up. And we bring that foot down. And then we walk forward. We come halfway up. We fold forward. And then we inhale, sweeping those arms up. And we exhale, palms to chest. This is the little bit of inconvenience with Zoom. You have to sort of sometimes have to readjust things a little bit. Okay, I have socks on. Generally, I don't do yoga with socks because we want to get a little bit more friction. Feet on the mat. If you want, you can have you probably want your mat this direction. I'm facing you guys. We inhale as we come up. Exhale, we fold forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we fold forward again. Inhale, we come all the way up. Exhale, we come into Samastiti, arms either side of you. Half salute, side view. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we fold forward again, head relax. Inhale, breath, core brings us up. Exhale, Samastiti. If you feel any discomfort in the back, bend the knees as you go down and as you come back up. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we fold forward again, bending the knees if you need to. Breath, core brings us up. Exhale, Samastiti. One more. Inhale, sweeping those arms up. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, we come halfway up. Exhale, we fold forward, head relax. Inhale, breath, core brings us up. Exhale, Samastiti. Sun salutation A. Inhale, sweeping those arms up. Exhale, we fold forward and down. Inhale, we come halfway up. Exhale, this time we plant the hands. We come into plank. So let's just hold plank before we go a little bit further into that salutation. So plank pose, the back is neutral. So you don't want to let the hips drop like that. Puts too much pressure on the back. Hips high makes it too easy. So we're trying to keep a neutral back, hands pushed into the ground, shoulders up towards the ceiling. As we bring the knees down, we're trying to bring the elbows in close. We bring the chin chest forward and down. And we inhale into Cobra, opening the chest, and we exhale back into Downward Facing Dog. And we hold down dog, 3, 4, maybe 5 breaths. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Little micro movements each breath, trying to get a little bit more length. Inhale, exhale. Inhale as we walk forward between the hands, coming halfway up. Exhale, we fold forward again. The breath, the inhale brings us all the way up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, looking up towards the ceiling. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands, look back into plank. Knees down, chin chest forward and down. Inhaling into Cobra. Exhale, Downward Facing Dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, we walk forward, we come halfway up. Exhale, we fold forward. Inhale, we come all the way up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Sun Salutation B, we bend the knees so we're in chair. We make sure the knees are behind the toes. So take the knees back if you need to. And we bring the arms up just like this. So if this bothers the shoulders, you can have the arms down, you can come into prayer, you can rest the hands here. Your choice. I like the arms up either side of the ears. We synchronize the breath. Everyone inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we flatten the hands. We're back in plank. Let's hold plank. So we did last time, we did knees down, chin, chest towards the ground. Chaturanga up dog is a variation, a little bit more challenging. You keep the elbows in to get into Chaturanga, elbows to 90 degrees, and you come into Upward Facing Dog. Again, we're trying to open that chest. Exhale, Downward Facing Dog. Your choice. If Chaturanga up dog is too much, just do knees down, chin, chest towards the ground and Cobra. Next, we're going to go into Warrior One. We're going to bring the right foot between the hands. Back foot is turned in about 45 degrees. So in Warrior One, the back leg is straight, front knee is bent. And if you want a little bit of a back bend, arms together, we look up towards the ceiling. We come back into plank. Chaturanga on the chin, chest to ground, Cobra or up dog, back into Downward Facing Dog. And then we do Warrior One on the other side. And we hold this for breath or two. And then we come back into plank. Chaturanga on the chin, chest to ground, Cobra or up dog, exhaling into down dog. And we bring the knees down, and we're just going to sit on the heels. I just want to go over something with you guys. What I see quite often is when people come down and they're getting ready to get into Cobra or Upward Facing Dog, what happens a lot is elbows go out. That puts a lot of pressure on the shoulders. So really try and keep those elbows in nice and close. The hand positions, you want space between the fingers, you want this middle finger or index finger facing forward as the hands are on the ground. So if we do it from plank, if you just watch for a minute, if you just drop down, what happens is the elbows go out. That's bad for the shoulders. So what you've got to do, you've got to bring your whole body forward, forward, forward. Keep the elbows in as you come down. And then coming back up. Opening up. Try not to shrug the shoulders like this. So if the arms are straight, the hips are off the ground. If the elbows are bent, the hips can be down. So Cobra, hips are down on the ground, elbows are bent. Another thing what I try and do is as I'm coming down, It says, I'm trying to twist those hands out. When you've got the hands stuck to the ground, the hands are not moving, but it brings the elbows in nice and close. So you can grab the mat, it's almost like this kind of action. Sort of grabbing the mat, you're pulling yourself forward and coming up. Everyone onto your hands and knees. Downward facing dog. And then we look forward, we walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, folding forward, knees come back. Bend. And then we come back into chair and then Samasthiti. A little bit of a faster flow. Sun Salutation B. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We're in plank. Chaturanga, release chin, chest to ground. Cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 or 3 breaths. Inhaling into warrior one, bringing the right foot forward, sweeping the arms up. And on the next exhale, we're going to go straight back into plank. Chaturanga, inhaling into up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale into warrior one on the other side. And then we exhale straight back into plank. Chaturanga, inhaling into up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 or 3 breaths. Gaze between the legs or to the belly button. Every single finger pushed into the ground, especially the thumb, the index finger, armpits pull towards the ground. You're breathing, getting a little bit more length. We look forward, we walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, folding forward. We bend the knees, we inhale back into chair, and we exhale into Samasthiti. This time we're going to add warrior two, maybe Trikonasana. We come into chair. We fold forward. We come halfway up. We plant the hands. We come into plank. We do Chaturanga. We come into upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Inhale into warrior one, right side. You bring that right foot between the hands. So we're going to hold this for a couple of breaths. So what we'll do, we'll just do warrior one both sides. So this time when we switch, what we're going to do, we're just going to swivel on the heels. And we're doing warrior one in the other direction. Warrior two, we extend the arms. Now what I do in warrior two, I just readjust that back foot so the feet make a 90-degree angle. Hopefully you can just about see that. We bend that front knee. Now as you go deeper, if you want to go deeper, what happens sometimes is that knee comes too far forward. So if you go too far forward, walk that front foot forward, keep that knee over the ankle. Another thing people like to surf. So we don't want to surf, we want to try and keep the whole body vertical. We're looking over that left hand. We're breathing. Then we swivel on the heels again, and we do warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2 in the other direction. Looking over the opposite arm. You want to try and keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. Sometimes we hold tension in the shoulders, we don't realize it until it's pointed out, but keep those shoulders soft. And now we're going to go into Trikonasana. We're going to swivel on the heels again. We're going to straighten that front leg. We're going to bring the feet slightly closer to each other. And we're going to hinge at the hips. So we're reaching over that front leg. We bring that hand down, we bring the other arm up towards the ceiling. So if you look towards the screen, make sure that you see sometimes people let the head drop. Don't let the head drop. So try and keep that head nicely lined up with the back, and then look up towards the ceiling. You want to think straight lines in this one. Both legs are active. You're engaging the quads, you're lifting up the insteps. We inhale up, we swivel on the feet again, we reach in the other direction, and we bring one hand down, the other arm up. What happens sometimes is people will get into this pose and then they'll slide that lower hand lower and lower. That throws off the alignment. And then we come back up. We take the feet wide apart. So I've got my feet nice and parallel. I'm going to bring my hands onto the hips. And I'm going to hinge forward. As I hinge forward, I'm trying to get as much dog tilt. Do you remember dog tilt? We talked about that previously. We're bringing the hips forward, trying to get that natural curve in the lower back. And then we bring the hands down onto the ground. I have my hands under the shoulders. We bring one hand to center and we open up. We're breathing. So again, you're thinking straight lines, try not to drop the head. Breathe. Also, don't hold the breath. If you're holding the breath, you're probably trying too hard. And then we switch over to the other side. And we bring the hand down. And then we're just going to walk the feet together, heel, toe, heel, toe. And then we're slowly going to roll up, inhaling as the arms come up. Exhale, Samasthiti. So what we're going to do next, we're going to go into the plank series. So for plank, if it bothers the wrist, you can come into a forearm plank. So this is a regular plank. Forearm plank, you're on the forearms like this. So come into forearm plank if it bothers the wrist. So everyone come into plank pose. So we're pushing the hands into the ground, shoulders up towards the ceiling. This is going to really strengthen the upper body, strengthens the core. So your core is working. Side plank. Bring one hand to center. I'd like you to be able to face the screen. So bring the appropriate hand to center, and then we stack the feet. And then you bring the other arm up towards the ceiling. If this bothers the wrist, again, you can be on the forearm. If this is really tough, one thing you can do, you can bring that top foot down in front of you, or you can bring the bottom knee down to the ground just like this. If you're okay with this one and you want a little bit more challenge, the top leg comes up off. Bringing that top leg up towards the ground. The next stage is you hold on to the big toe of that top foot. This is a challenge, and you bring that leg up to the ceiling. Most of you are going to be like this, probably, or like this. We come back into plank. And then we do side plank on the other side. You bring the other hand to center, you're stacking the feet. You want to think straight lines. Maybe you're bringing that top leg up. And all the time you're breathing. We come back into plank. And it's nice to take a little breather after plank. So we come into child's pose. We bring the knees down, toes touching, and we're just resting the head down on the ground. Hang out here. And then we slowly come back up. And we're going to do that same back bending again. We bring the hands behind us, fingers are lined up with the toes, chin is tucked, we open the chest, and then maybe bring those hips up. We bring the sit bones down, we slide the hands forward, we come into downward facing dog. And we look forward, we walk forward between the hands. We come halfway up, we fold forward. And then we come back. Let's come back into chair. And then into Samasthiti. So let's add a few little twists. We're going to start off with, we've done a few chairs. Let's do a chair twist. So we bend the knees. We bring the arms up. And then we're going to take one arm and we bring it onto the opposite side of the opposite leg. So I've got my right arm on the outside of my left leg. I then bring the palms together, elbows up towards the ceiling. So I'm pushing that arm into the leg so I can get a little bit of leverage, get into a deep twist, and I'm breathing. We inhale out of the twist, and then we go in the other direction. Again, we're trying to get a little bit of leverage with that arm against the leg, so we can go a little deeper into that twist. And then we come back into chair. And then we come all the way up, and we shake everything out. Tree pose. A standing pose, we're going to stand on one leg. I'm going to stand on my left foot and bring my right foot inside that standing leg. You want to make sure the foot is either below or above the knee. Please don't push into the knee joint. And then we bring the palms together, palms to chest. So the standing leg is working, those quads are working. You're opening across the upper chest, the collarbone, and arms can come up whenever you're ready. You breathe. This is, if you're not used to tree, this can be a bit of a challenge with your balance. Sometimes it helps just to focus on something not moving. So this time, rather than looking at the screen, just focus on the floor somewhere. Makes the balance a bit easier. And if your balance is a real challenge, a couple of things you could do. You could bring that bottom foot down to the ground like that if you need to, or you can just lean against a piece of furniture. But this pose, you're probably feeling this already in the standing leg, especially the calf muscle, the ankle is going to strengthen the legs. You're opening the hips. You're having to concentrate just to be in this pose. First of all, when we come out, we bring the palms together, we release the legs, we shake everything out. I can feel my leg working on that one. Just loosen the shoulders up a little bit. Other side, we're on the other foot. And then we come into tree on that side, bringing the second foot inside the leg, below or above the knee. Arms together, open the chest, arms up whenever you're ready. You breathe in, you're reaching up. So here I'm reaching up as much as I can, shoulders down slightly. Some people like to have the hands together, which is fine. My preference is keeping the arms parallel, but it's entirely up to you. If your foot is above the leg, above the knee, you should be able to feel those inner quads working. Whether you can feel it or not, try and engage those muscles. Don't forget to breathe, don't hold the breath. Usually if you're holding the breath, you're trying too hard. If you start to pant, you're breathing fast, then maybe you're trying too hard. So just try and calm down, try and get that nice calm breath. We bring the hands down, we shake everything out. Eagle pose. I'm not sure if we did this last week, but this pose it's hip opening, it's shoulder opening. We start off bringing the arms up like this. And then we're going to bring one arm. So I'm bringing the right arm under the left arm. Then you get the hands parallel, then you come into chair like this. So the hands, it could be the back of the hands parallel or the palms just like that, and we're in that chair pose. So this is just the arms at the moment. This may be enough for you, but if you want to add the legs, if the right arm is under the left arm, the right leg comes on top of the left leg, and you've got to squeeze those legs together and maybe hook that top foot behind the standing leg. Then you just make sure the arms are centered, you're opening the chest, you're leaning back slightly, and see if you can touch the nose with the thumb or the fingers. Hip stretch, shoulder stretch, and we come out of that pose. A challenge, a lot going on that one. Other side, the arms come up. We go over to the other side. For me, left arm under right arm. Hands parallel, back of the hands or the palms. We then come into that chair pose and we bring the left leg on top. Sometimes people like to go legs first, then the arms. I like arms and then legs. And sometimes it's easier on one side than the other side. Once you're there, you center the arms, you lean back slightly, you see if you can touch the nose. And then we release and we shake everything out. Inhale, the arms come up. So we're going to do a little bit of a side stretch. We're going to reach up towards the ceiling and we're going to lean over to one side, stretching out one side of the body. We're looking up towards the ceiling underneath the arms. We inhale back up and we exhale over to the other side. So we're going to go from side to side with the breath. Inhale up, exhale over. Inhale up, exhale over. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. This time I'm going to hold the pose. We go a little deeper. Although it appears stationary, we are making little micro adjustments. We're going a little deeper maybe with the breath. You should be feeling a stretch down the side ribs, the side hip. Inhale up, exhale over to the other side. We don't do this kind of stretch very often, so your body's not too used to it, but you should like it. We come back up, a little bit of a back bend. So in the back bend, you want to engage the glutes. You want to try and do a little bit of a dovetail. So we're pulling the belly in. We're keeping the arms either side of the ears as we do a backward bend. Try and keep the arms either side of the ears, you breathe. Just go as far as feels good. Don't feel any discomfort in the lower back. We inhale up, we hinge at the hips, and we fold forward, bringing the hands down to the ground. Next, we're going to take hold, we're going to take the feet a little bit wider apart. We're going to take hold of the big toes. Knees are bent, so you're going to rest the belly on the legs. Head is totally relaxed. Arms are working a lot. You're pulling yourself down. You can shake yes or no, make sure the head is relaxed. And then just see if you can straighten the legs a little bit, just to get a little bit more of a hamstring stretch. Hold here, 3 or 4 breaths. And then we bend the knee to release the toes, and we just roll up, inhaling as the arms come up, exhale coming into Samasthiti. Come to the front of the mat. Inhale, sweeping those arms up. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We're back into plank. Chaturanga. Inhaling into up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring the right leg up to the ceiling. Extend it down dog. And then we're going to go into a lunge. We're going to bring that top foot between the hands. And we're going to bring the back knee down to the ground. And we bring those arms up towards the ceiling. So we're in a low lunge, knee down. We then add a twist, so we're doing another twist. So to get deeper into the twist, what I'll do is so I'm twisting to my left, so I'm taking my left hand, I'm pushing to that left leg, so I can get a little deeper with that right arm. So I can get that arm outside the leg, so I'm getting a bit of a deeper twist. Then I bring the palms together. Now if you want a little bit more challenge, you tuck the toes of the back foot and you bring that back knee off the ground. And you hold this for 2 or 3 breaths. And then we bring the knee down. We bring the hands on the ground. And then you're going to switch sides. And you can go as low or as fast as you can. I like to go pretty quick. I bring that back knee up. I engage the core. I lower, and then it's almost like you're trying to spring, you're trying to get nice and springy, and then you switch. And the quieter you are, it means you're working that core. And then we twist towards the other side. So just hang in there. I'm just going to rotate here so you can see. So we're going to bring that other hand onto the leg, so you're pushing over so you can get a little bit deeper into that twist. We bring the palms together, elbow up towards the ceiling, and there we go. And my back just clicked there. I can cancel the chiropractor. Actually, I've already cancelled the chiropractor appointment. Just joking. So we're going to tuck the toes of the back foot. We bring that back knee off the ground. If you want. Leave the knee down if you prefer. We're opening up, we're breathing. Nice twist. And then we lower. So while we're in the lunge, we can add a little bit of a hamstring stretch. We walk that foot forward a little bit, and then we see if we can straighten that front leg. We're walking the hands in a little bit closer. This may be a challenge if you've got really tight hamstrings, so just bend the knee if you need to. Don't make it too intense. Keep the back nice and happy. But eventually that leg is going to be straight, toes up towards the ceiling. You're engaging those quads. We're just getting a bit of hamstring stretch. And then there's another pose called lizard. Stay like this. Let me just change my view. You don't have to change your view. And sometimes with lizard, it's nice to use a block, but if you don't have a block, no worries. Let's just see how this goes. So in lizard, we come back into the lunge. So we're bending that front knee, and we're just bringing the forearms onto the ground inside the leg. So if the ground is too far away, a block is useful. I've got my forearms on a block here. So you get a bit of a hip stretch. Won't hold this too long. Maybe you guys don't have a block, so let's not hold that too long. And then we switch sides again. We do the hamstring stretch. We're straightening that front leg, toes, kneecap up towards the ceiling. Getting a bit of a stretch, engaging the quads. If you can get the legs straight, engage the quads. But if it's too much of a stretch, just bend the knee, keep the back happy. And then lizard, we're bending the front knee, and we're bringing the forearms inside the leg, getting a little bit of a hip opener. So another nice hip opener is what I call reclined pigeon or figure four. We're on our backs. Just like this, we walk the feet in. You bring the right foot onto the left leg. So the outer ankle of that right foot is against that left leg. You then take hold of the back of that left leg. So the right hand is going through the window of the figure four. You pull in the legs in towards you. You want to keep the head on the ground, head is supported. The foot that's close to you is flexed, dorsiflexion. You pull in the legs in, you try to keep the tailbone on the ground. Get a nice stretch on the outside of the hip on this one. So what I'm doing, I'm using a lot of arm strength. I'm trying to keep the tailbone down, and I'm also pushing that forearm into the inside of the leg. That gives you a little bit more of a hip opener. Another thing I started doing in this one is just rocking from side to side at the same time. Gives a little bit of a back massage. So just rocking from side to side gently. At the same time, you're trying to stretch out the hip. Should feel good. It's a nice hip stretch. And then we're going to switch. Holding onto the back of the other leg, pulling the legs in. The foot that's close to you is flexed. You're not pointing the foot, you're flexing the foot, dorsiflexion. You may be using the forearm against inside the leg just to open up. Tailbone down as much as you can. It's almost like you're trying to bring the lower back off the ground. Might not happen, but that's the intent. So I don't want the hips coming up like that. So I want the hips down, the tailbone down rather, and the head is supported. And then we just rock from side to side a little bit. Happy baby. Both knees come in. We take hold of the big toes. Maybe. Some people have a challenge with this and they're going to be holding onto the legs. But if you can hold onto the big toes, that would be good. Just like the previous pose, the head is down on the ground, tailbone is low. So in Happy Baby, the knees are bent, you're using quite a lot of arm strength, you're trying to get the legs closer and closer towards the ground. And then we see if we can extend the legs. So I'm taking the legs into a wide V shape. So I'm making the feet wide apart, I'm trying to straighten the legs. Again, a bit of a hamstring stretch, so this might be a bit of a challenge for you. And we bend the knees again. We take hold of the back of the legs, we lift the head up, and we come into boat, Navasana. I'm going to have to shovel back a bit, otherwise I'll hit the table. So we're just trying to rock ourselves up into boat. So the easy boat, we're holding onto the legs. Or if you're not used to boats, you just hold onto the legs like that. You try to keep the back neutral. The next stage, arms either side of the legs. The next stage, you extend the legs. You're trying to get that V shape. Try not to round the back. So a lot of moves in yoga require a lot of core strength. Try this. You're crossing the feet. You're bringing the hands either side of you. And you're just going to lift yourself up and come down. If you can do that, you get some extra points. Now this pose, after a while, you probably don't like this pose. That's okay. But you're going to start shaking after a while. Bring across the legs. See if you can suspend yourself. Inhale, exhale, up. And then we're going to come all the way down. And we're just going to pull the knees in, and we're just going to rock them side to side. Both legs down on the ground. Take a full body stretch. Extend the arms over the head. Now walk both feet in. Pull one knee in as you straighten the other leg on the ground. Take hold of the back of that leg. So we're getting another hamstring stretch. And then we switch legs. Pull the other knee in. And then we take hold of the back of that leg. Both knees come in. We're going to rock ourselves up. This time we're going to rock up into a seated position. So we lift the head up, we rock up, we cross the legs. We then bring the hands down in front of us, and we come face down on the mat. Stack the hands, rest the forehead on the hands. Bring one leg up to the seat, not too high. So the leg is just off the ground, just a few inches. The leg is straight, you're working the glutes. And then we switch legs. Other leg comes up. And we bring that leg down. And then we're going to bring both legs up. And we bring the arms either side of us. We bring the arms up, we bring the head up. If it bothers the lower back, don't go quite as high. Try engaging the core more. We're breathing. This is going to strengthen the back. You're going to feel this in the glutes. You're going to feel it in the lower back muscles. And we come all the way down. And we totally relax. We bring the hands underneath the shoulders. And we walk the knees in. We're back in child's pose. This time, I'm keeping the toes together, knees together. I'm bringing the arms either side of the legs. Head is rested on the ground. We come back up. We lean over to one side, and we're going to work our way into bridge. So bridge, just remember, always keep the gaze towards the ceiling. Do not gaze towards the side, because that's not so good for the neck. You start off on your back. You're walking the feet in nice and close. You lift the hips up towards the ceiling. The next thing is we want to get some space underneath the neck. So we interlace the fingers. We lean over to one side, walking one arm, one shoulder. And then we lean over to the other side slightly, walking the other arm and the other shoulder. You might do that a couple of times, just walking the arms and the shoulders. Then you push the arms, hands into the ground, head into the ground. Legs are working. Try and keep your legs parallel. Try not to let the legs splay out. The legs are working a lot. The hips are probably in line with the knees. So knees, hips, shoulders making a straight line. Maybe you can bring the hips up a little bit higher. But if you can, keep the back happy. Sometimes it might bother the back if the hips are up too high. But this is working. The feet, imagine the feet are glued to the mat. And you're pulling those feet in towards you. Inhale. Exhale, come up a little bit higher. Inhale. Exhale, we slowly come down. We release the arms and we bring down the upper back, mid back, lower back. We pull the knees in nice and close and we just rock from side to side. Let's take a twist. So we're going to take the left leg on the ground. The right knee is pulled in as close as you can. And you take that right knee over to the side. The right knee is going over to the left side. As you extend the right arm, you're looking over the right shoulder. In this twist, you want to try and keep that right shoulder on the ground. You're pulling the shoulder away from the head. Trying to ground the shoulder. Palm of that hand is facing up. You're looking over in that direction. So you're looking over towards that extended arm. You're breathing. You have to work the twist. We come out of the twist. Usually between twists, you rock from side to side, unless it's a seated twist. Then we take the twist on the other side. So we're extending the right leg, left knee is pulled in close, and we take that knee over towards your right side as you extend the left arm looking over the left shoulder. Palm up, shoulder pulled away from the ears, you're opening the chest. Work at the twist, breathe. Inhale, we come out of that twist. We pull both knees in. And we rock from side to side again. And then we're going to take a full body stretch. We're going to extend the legs. And we bring the arms over the head. Trying to get a full body stretch. And then we get into a side stretch. I call it a banana shape. So we're still on the backs. We're just going to get into that banana shape, stretching out the side ribs and the hip. And then we stretch out the other side. And usually I hold stretches for a few breaths. And then we recenter. And then we're going to walk the feet in a little bit closer. Pretty close. The feet are wide apart, so they're wider than hips. Arms either side of you. And then we're just going to take the knees from side to side. So it's like windshield wipers. And you want to try and move with the breath. You're moving slowly. You inhale, knees up, then you exhale them down. Inhale, knees up, exhale down. And just do that a few more times, just going at your pace. And then we take another full body stretch. Extending the arms over the head. And we're going to go into Shavasana. So Shavasana is a resting pose. I have my feet apart, so there's about, I don't know, a foot or so between the feet, arms either side, palms are up. But my arms are out about 20, 30 degrees. Chin is tucked. I'm trying to keep the neck neutral. Eyes are closed, and you're just starting to relax, just letting yourself sink into the ground. So usually, Shavasana will be held for several minutes. We're just going to hold it for a minute or so. You want to be aware of the breath. It's not like you're controlling the breath, but you want to be aware of the breath, so try and keep focused to the breath. Just letting the whole body sink into the ground. And sometimes it helps just to scan the body. Quite often, sometimes you're just holding tension, you don't realize it. So working from the legs down, just make sure the feet are relaxed. No tension in the legs. The arms, the back, hips. Totally relaxed. No tension. Face is soft. Breathing is regular. I know sometimes if you're new to Shavasana, sometimes this is one of the most challenging poses. Just trying to keep still, just trying to relax. But Shavasana is typically done at the end of every yoga class. You assimilate the practice you've just done. When you're coming out of Shavasana, walk the feet in, pull the knees in nice and close, and usually we'll roll over to the right side. I'm going to roll over to the left so I can face you guys. Usually we roll over to the right side, and we take a breath or two here. And we keep the eyes closed as we come back up into a seated position. Just resting the hands on the legs. Sitting tall. And then we bring the palms together, palms to chest. And we'll end with 2 or 3 breaths. Breathing in through the nose. And breathing out through the nose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the hands to the forehead. Namaste.